This is kind of a Chinese roulette because Huawei now published finally the P7 Mini. And of course I have to compare that to the actual flagship, the P7 here in the middle, and the G6 that I've looked a little bit closer in this video over here. And as you remind, the problem here was that I just have 4 GB internal memory, net 1.3 GB, and especially for apps just 488 MB. So that seems to me a little bit too less. And the problem over here we have not on the P7 Mini, because here we have 8 GB internal memory, net for 5.5 net memory. And again, we have a partition from that, as you can see over here, but there are left out of the box. Now I've installed some apps, 1.43 GB for apps, so almost 3 times more than on the G6. So I'd say for normal, regular users, this should be way better. So I would say this one is out of the game, and we have now to concentrate on these two, P7 and P7 Mini, and what are the differences. Of course, you have the bigger display, 5-inch, 4.5-inch, and the better resolution. So you have full HD, meaning 1080 by 1920 pixels, and here on the Mini it's just 540 by 960. So we have, of course, the higher pixel density over here, 445 ppi versus 247. But as you can see here, and I'm going to go a little bit closer so that you can compare by yourself these texts over here in the menu or in the app launcher, it's no big deal, no difference at all, just for reading text or whatever. Of course, it's sharper, but to see, let's say, full HD video or whatever, this is a little bit better. But if you just want to have a phone and read your texts and whatever, this is quite enough, I would say, in my opinion, what concerns the resolution of that. But there are, of course, more differences. One is the design. Both are very small. 8.1 millimeters, 6.9 millimeters, 115 grams, 126 grams. But there is on the back side, if you see this over here, the glass surface on the P7, looking more classy, of course, and just regular plain plastic on the P7 Mini. That's a difference. And so you cannot remove the battery here because you cannot open the back side. And this is something you can do on the P7 Mini. But unfortunately, it's the same like on the G6 here, the same problem. Nevertheless, you cannot remove the battery by yourself, or at least not on the fly if you need a recharge, let's say in the afternoon or something. So this is fixed nevertheless. So the removable back is just only for having this SIM card slot and the SD card slot. By the way, SD cards officially on all 3 models up to 32 GB. But I tried a SanDisk with 64 GB and it worked quite good, no problem at all on all 3 devices, but not the very big one with 128 GB. This is not working on all 3. This might be different with all other manufacturers of SD cards, I can tell, but with the SanDisk cards, I measured that 64 GB are working, if this helps you in any way. Quad-core processors on all, 1.2 GHz on both on the outer sides, and in the middle the P7 1.8 GHz, and you have a double RAM of 2 GB. Both over here have 1 GB. All right, but this one again is out of the of this picture because of the too small memory. So differences: 13 megapixels camera, 8 megapixels camera, but the differences of quality between 8 and 13 megapixels is not that big a deal. Videos both full HD. The G7 has just 720p. Battery 2000 milliampere. hours, 2500 milliampere hours, but the bigger display, so the ratio of capacity of the battery and the display size is both exactly the same. LTE, both yes. NFC, both yes. Bluetooth 4.0. All right, here we have Android 4.4. This is 4.3 only, but you nevertheless have that emotion UI surface or user interface. So for me, I cannot see any difference what you could do with Android 4.4 on the P7, what you couldn't do with the P7 Mini and Android 4.3. So that's not a point of making a decision for me. But there is one little difference. For some users could be a big one, because the P7 has LTE, all right, and is supporting dual cell HSPA. So you have in 3G networks up to 42 megabit per second, and the P7 doesn't. So here you have in 3G maximum of 21 megabit per second. So officially, you have double the speed in 3G networks with the P7. So you are not always in 4G networks, I would suggest. So at least I'm doing. So this would be for me a important point to decide, especially because of the differences of the price is, at least here in Germany at the moment, 330 euros without any contract for the P7 and 260 euros without any contract for the P7 Mini. So just around about 70 euros different. So I would really recommend to think over if I would not pay this a little bit more and have first the bigger display and the higher resolution and double the memory and especially that dual cell HSPI support. But of course, this is your decision. I just wanted to present you the facts and to help you a little bit by deciding what kind of model you would like to buy. I hope I could help you a little bit. So this is the first impression of the P7 Mini versus P7 versus G6. Thanks for watching, and please remind to recommend my channel and to subscribe to it. Thanks for that in advance, and take care.